Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hi, I was a
Yeah, I'm sorry you got cut off there. So, yeah, go ahead. You were saying that. Could you start over? And I'm just going to reintroduce the subject to everybody, okay? Because we had a couple minutes pass. And the subject is, ladies and gentlemen, there's an article in the New York Times. Tenants worried by plans to build near city projects. And when Hassan Adam was growing up in public housing on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, his playground was a nearby recreational yard in the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge where residents have long played basketball. The neighbors hold an annual family day. But soon that patch of asphalt, okay, where the playground could be replaced by market rate apartment buildings, and tenants like Mr. Adam, 37, said they feared what could come next. So essentially what the city is doing is to fill a budget gap, okay, a hole, because they got big problems in finances and in public housing.
and you know what,
Yeah,
and I
go.
completely agree, and I understand that those people feel like they might be displaced, but I don't see that being the an issue. What the problem lies is that all these programs should have a beginning date and date. I cannot conceive that this person was brought up in this building and now he still lives there on a subsidized apartment that all the taxpayers are paying, and now he's growing up. He's raising his daughter in this apartment in this project, and maybe she's gonna do the same thing that he did. It's like generations and all these entitlements that have no end.
I,
And I think the city has to close the gap, and they should put term limits on all this programs.
that's a very interesting observation. So you say that when people go into public housing, they should be there for like 3, 4, 5 years, and they should be out.
Yeah, it should have meant to be, finance your living expenses for life. As your expense, if you're a taxpayer, I'm a taxpayer, and no one is financing me. So, you know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Well, caller, I hear your view. Maybe there's some other people who got some other views, and so
I think the program is good. I'm not criticizing the program. I just think that there's so much abuse and so much fraud to the program. That's the issue. There's a lot of people that need it, and there has to be in years, like 10 years. I heard there's the waiting list to get into Section 8, for example. When all the people they've been living in this project for 30 years, like this man. I mean, how can you conceive that? It doesn't make sense. All these programs should have a term limit.
I see. So then they could refresh
Yeah,
the kind of people who are in there to make sure
yeah.
that
People come and go. It's a cycle. That's how it should be. Not a for life program.
got it. Well, thank you, caller, for your call. All right, we're gonna. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and we'll let you go because I think we can only still have one caller at a time. So we're gonna let you go and see if another caller calls in. All right, caller.
Hi.
Oh, hi. How you doing? You're on the air.
Hi. My name is Tina, and I'm calling concerning the situation you're talking about now, as far as about public housing.
Yeah, you're gonna
I
have to.
agree. I agree with the situation, but at the same time, being that we still in a semi-recession, I feel that it's kind of hard now to really for people to go out and try to buy homes and stuff like that. It's like really hard now.
So,
So by them going up on the rent, all right, that's okay, but only for the people that can really afford it. Right now, jobs are really scarce, and a lot of people that live in public housing also work for public housing. So the money is being put right back in. So taxpayers are paying for where they're living. Because you got a lot of people that live in public housing that works for public housing. Like myself, I'm a housing worker, and I pay the top for a one unit, one bedroom. I pay $1,000 and something dollars. So I'm not complaining, but for that other caller that says the term limit, I don't know. Right now, it's hard for people to leave. So
well,
that's my opinion.
how about the point of view though that it's hard for everybody who are in public housing and not public housing for
Exactly. I think it's hard
so
for everybody.
so I guess his point was that if it's hard on everybody, why do some people get different breaks than other people?
Well, some of us that live in public housing, like, well, not myself. I'm a first time tenant. I didn't grow up in public housing. I was fortunate to get public housing. But I do understand where he's coming from about people that's been living here for 40, 50 years and leaving it for their great grands. That's unfair. I think that's very unfair. But he was absolutely right.
So do you plan on moving out of public housing, ma'am?
Of course I do.
That's your goal? Why is that your goal?
Well, I want a house. I want to go back to the South where I was raised at.
I see. So you're working to save up to get out of here. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because it's like the city is becoming more and more expensive. So, why go? I'm going to go to the South. I can plant my own crops, my vegetables, my fruit, and, just live. Because right now, it's so hard, and every dime that I'm making is actually going on rent.
Yeah.
So, but I don't like public housing at all. I'm actually grateful for it.
All right,
Some
love.
people actually took advantage.
Well, thank you for your call, all right? We're going to let some other callers come on the air. Thank you so much for calling, ma'am. Hi, you're on the air.
How you doing, Mr. Keevan?
I'm doing okay, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'd like to respond to both people who just spoke to on the phone.
Go for
I
it.
live in public housing.
Yeah.
And I'd like to tell these people, public housing is not cheap. I pay $810 a month for rent. Some people pay $1,500. So the gentleman who said about 5 years and people shouldn't live here 40 or 50 years, I like to ask him, do we live in housing, or he just talking from the side of his mouth? Because he needs to talk to people who live in housing, let you know the conditions of housing is not perfect. And for the New York City housing, they lose money is because they hire in their people who don't care about their jobs. They just care about their position. Okay? And plus, these open spaces that they want to build apartments on. Where I live at now, there's a lot of people who wants to turn this into a condo park. Okay? With the high walls, with stores inside the walls. They want to make it exclusive. So I ask these people out there, what would you do? You have people who live here who have mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, who live on SSI, low income. Okay, where they going to live at? Where the rent is over $1,000 a city, if not more. If they could tell me that, I'll move there myself. Now, I've been in public housing since '92, and I was homeless at the time when I got this apartment. So now you're going to tell me, after, 5 years, I'm supposed to move out to make way for who? At $810 a month to pay $1,500 or $2,000 a month to make somebody rich off of my hard labor? No, I don't think so. I'll stay in public housing until I'm in the grave.
Well, I think his point was that there are people who are like you were 5 years ago who need to get into public housing now. And his point, I think, was that maybe you've had your chance now that you've been in there for 5 years to educate yourself more, or to get a better job, or to move to somewhere else, and let these other people who have more need than you to get in. Because what he's saying is that the man in the article has been there for 30 years, and he's got his daughter growing up there too. So they've been there all their life. And really what happens is you become a subsidized lifestyle.
Well, in this society, we know there's a lot of inequities. Also, he's talking about 5 years and moving out to improve yourself. The economy now is in a bad shape, so I'm wondering, how you going to move, where you going to move to? Now, I heard the young lady talk about she wants to buy a house. No, we already went for a scandal with housing. Please tell me what we're going to do, because they do not want to raise the minimum wage. There's some people who want us to still work for $5 an hour. So, if you don't have landlords who have, let's say, prior needs of economic resource off your labor, how are you going to live?
I hear you,
they
sir.
said income is what? I think house is supposed to be 30% of your income.
Yeah.
But in New York, it's over 50%.
Yeah.
And you have some people who live with a family. You got 12 in the house, 15 in the house, in a 3 or maybe a 2-bedroom apartment. So the need is for more housing and low income.
All right, sir. Listen, thank you for your point. We got to wrap up. We're going to move along with the show, okay? Thank you for calling. I really appreciate it, okay?
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much.